most everybody in the room I don't know, because you've all met Scott, and he was grown, and from his places he's worked. I was Scott's junior ROTC instructor at John Marshall High School, so I was privileged to have him in my class as a freshman, and came back again as a sophomore, and came back as a junior, and even came back for a senior year. I was proud to call Scott my friend. He wasn't just a former student or a former ROTC cadet. Those of you that don't know much about Scott from those days, he had it pretty rough. As big a guy as he was a pretty good target for most of the kids at school. They liked to poke fun at him a lot. In those days, he had quite a pronounced stutter that he worked through for a few years and got much better with. But anything kids could use to make fun of Scott, they would, and that was one of the things that they picked on him. And he came to our ROTC program, and he was a tough fit. He was always a big kid. By the time he was a senior, I had the biggest Air Force pants I could find, the biggest Air Force shirt I could find, and the biggest Air Force coat I could find. And he still looked like a kielbasa. But anyway, he wanted to wear that uniform and dress out. He took a lot of pride in being in that program, and being part of our ROTC program that was very unique, because it's not for everybody. You know, if you think about kids, kids are joiners. And I think Scott was one of those kids that was trying to find some place to join where he felt comfortable, where he fit in. If you think about a high school social atmosphere with socias and jocks and eggheads and nerds and everybody that's there, ROTC didn't exclude anybody. And if you looked at our students, we had everybody. So Scott fit in just perfectly. To say that he was a bit of a comedian would be an understatement. You probably know that about him. He was very fond of my stories. I was known for telling some tales, some tall, some not so tall. But I enjoyed telling the stories, and he liked to repeat them to people. Did you hear the one Sarge told? I heard that for 4 years. Did you hear the story Sarge told second hour? Oh, you got to hear this one. As I look back, that's been almost 25 years ago. The first time I met him and came into my classroom. And I stayed there as a teacher at John Marshall. I retired the 1st of August last year. And when Scott found out I was retiring, the last day of school, we had a hot dog cookout and invited all the past cadets and everybody to come back. He showed up, of course. Over the years, I've had some bumps in the road. January 19th, 2003, I had a myocardial infarction. Anybody know what that is? Yeah, a head attack. I had the widowmaker, the left anterior descending artery. My heart was 95% blocked. I was going to medically retire, but I decided to come back. Scott found out, pestered me incessantly. If you know anything about Scott, he would always call to check up. Call me up, Sarge, how you doing? Are you back to work yet? Okay, I'll come and see you. That was Scott. January of 2008, I had robotic prostatectomy surgery for cancer, and I was going to retire again. And Scott found out. Hey Scott, what's going on? Sarge, you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I'll be all right. I have many, many memories of Scott. Him carrying the banner down through Bricktown on the St. Patrick's Day Parade. The time we arm wrestled, I had a good right arm. I used to be a fast pitch pitcher. We arm wrestled one time, and I had it almost down until something snapped in my wrist. And now they call me Lefty. But I dropped him off many a time after an ROTC function over there off Western, just north of Wilshire. Second house in the corner. Third house. Second and third house. Third. And I just remember him as one of those kind of kids that we were glad we had, because he fit. He got along with anybody, he got along with everybody. You probably never met anyone in your life that had a heart as big as Scott Michael Reeves. Never. Everybody, you never met a stranger. There wasn't anybody he couldn't walk up to and carry on. I like taking him to events because he was so personable. He would volunteer to come do things. When we were doing fundraisers, if we were doing a canned food drive, if we were doing a community service project, Scott was there. Every time we turned around, he was dependable. He was going to be there, and it was important to him to be there. And I'm going to miss my friend. He's not a former student, he's my friend. And I feel him here today. I feel his presence. He's probably a little ticked. He's missing all the fun. I was asked to read this little note from his cousin Roy, and dear friends and family, I regret that I cannot be there with you today. I imagine I would have said, I really want to thank you all for coming, and I'm sure Scott would have been thankful as well. I imagine Scott would have said, it's BA, everyone is here. It is. I trust everyone has a really good time. Secondly, I hope everyone remembers that everybody else here loves Scotty, and that has to mean that we should all love each other too. That's from the Bible, actually. A lawyer asked Jesus, what was the quote, unquote, greatest commandment? Jesus answered, there's only two commandments. Love thy God and love thy neighbor as thyself. I ask each of you to give a moment for Scott and a moment for the God that brought you two together. You're here. If you have a drink, it's toasting time. You're here. There's Julie, Roy Watts. I'm done. Stick a fork in me. Butter me on toast.
Thank you, Sergeant Robinson.
Thanks, Sonny.